My parents came upon a truck of cellophane somehow. I was asked not to ask too many questions. I didn't. I just suddenly, there was a basement filled with cellophane, and they encouraged me to go to school and see if I could sell it to my teachers or put a few in my backpack and try and hawk them at recess, you know? Convince kids that they might be good stocking stuffers for their parents.
What are the uses of cellophane? How did it go?
What do you mean, what's the use of cellophane?
I know the name, but I don't know what you do with it.
You know, you wrap sandwiches in it, it keeps things fresh.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No. It was an important question. You needed to ask it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a good job of selling it, obviously, but...
Did you sell it?
There's still some left, if you're interested.
Now I know it keeps things fresh. I want some.
Someone would just say, I'll take all of it. Never happened.
I don't want to out my mom like this. I will tell a funny story about that picture, though, which is that my mom was convinced that year by her friend that beehives were going to be all the rage. And if you didn't have a beehive, you'd feel embarrassed. And it turned out to be the opposite. It was a natural hair vibe that and my mom sat in front of Rachel Weisz, and her hair was so high that Rachel had to keep... And my mom kept sinking in her chair, and I didn't know what to do because I wanted to have a nice night, so I didn't know Meryl Streep, but she was sitting next to me, and I said in a commercial break, would you mind just telling my mom you like her hair, you know? And she was like, I got this. And then the commercial went, she goes, do you know, I wish I was going to do a beehive, and I wish I had. My mom was like, raising the roof, fall on. I was staying at this sort of go-to movie guy house in Atlanta. They were very precious about the house. What I didn't realize was that there's a strict no dogs policy. And then I was going to work one morning, and there's a little dog. It's below 0. And I thought, oh, what harm can it do? And I let it in the house. When I came back from work, it was like a fecal Jackson Pollock. It was everywhere. You know what I mean? It was like, did he have help? I was like looking up, like, did he get a ladder? How is he still alive? You know? And so then I had to clean it all up, and then I had to hide the dog, and I spent like 2 weeks hiding this dog. And, you know, when it was over the last day, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And actually, your driver, Bo, said that his father had just lost his dog of 16 years. And so Bo took this little dog, and he went and lived on a lake with 100 acres. And he went to, you know, literally dog. So that's a nice story.
That's a lovely story. Yeah, it is. Kind of a weird intro to show business via, was it your uncle, I believe?
Yeah, that's right.
So he... So, was your uncle living with you?
Yes. I walked into the room once, and he was bedazzling a sequined white jumpsuit. And he said that he was going to be Elvis for a little while. And you know, would I like to help? And I said, absolutely. What do you need me to do? So I became his head of security. And he got my whole family in on the act. My mother was a backup singer, and honestly, it was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen.
I mean, you've been sincere. I mean, it was really affecting.
No, I mean, what I admired about what he was doing was that he looked nothing like Elvis, you know. And he didn't attempt to. He had a mustache and very little hair. And, but my God, he just became him. And, you know, he would end every show with Suspicious Minds. And he would get on his knees, and often with tears in his eyes, he would sing to some imaginary woman and beg her not to leave. And we were transported from this mall in my small town in Ontario to that. I imagine it was a kitchen, and she was trying to leave, and we were just in that moment every night, and it was incredible, and honestly one of the best, like, acting lessons I ever had.
How old were you at when you were doing security?
I want to say 6.
It's
7.
quite quiet in
Did
the
you have
mall.
water
There we
guns?
go.
I just had 2 tiny guns.